What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be going over Nano Dimension, ticker symbol NNDM, and how ARK Invest has had some very weird buying behavior and selling behavior of NNDM over this past week. So we're going to go over exactly what I think is going on and the two possible scenarios of what ARK is actually planning on doing with their NNDM shares going forward over the next month. We're also going to be going over the two most important SEC filings that NNDM has filed in the recent past. One of them was actually filed yesterday, so we're going to go over exactly what that means. And we're going to briefly touch upon the event that NNDM has coming up on Saturday. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And make sure you turn on that notification bell so you're notified every single time I post a new video. And you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am specifically using to trade them. So if we take a look at the chart of NNDM, we can see that over the past month, it's had a very substantial run-up. We can see it was trading below $10 and peaked out in the $16 range, had a pretty significant sell-off when they announced that they were going to have a shareholder meeting in which they want to actually be able to issue more shares in order to raise more capital. We also saw NNDM rally back up on some good news on their partnership with Carl Square. That's exactly what I have been looking for out of NNDM before this shareholder meeting happens. I just wanted to see something out of NNDM because all this past time, we've just seen them raise money, tell us what they're going to be using the money for in the future, but we haven't seen anything until this in the present where they've actually said, hey, we're actually looking to be partnering up with this investment bank, and we're actually looking at companies to acquire right now, which I think is a very good sign long-term for NNDM and could really help boost its valuation because they will be acquiring a new company, and that company will be able to help them streamline their production of the Dragonfly LDM and actually improve the technology that goes into this really intricate 3D printer. So we're going to go over to a website that I show you guys a lot. This is Lucid Tracking. I'm not sponsored by them at all, but if you guys want to go check out some of ARK's buying behavior in some of your favorite stocks that ARK owns, you actually can go do this on a couple of websites. One of them is Kathy's ARK, and the other one is going to be Lucid Tracking. I use both of them, but Lucid Tracking really gives you a good idea of what ARK's been buying over the past couple of days. So we can see that there's been some very interesting buying behavior in ARKQ. So we see that on the 28th of January, ARK bought $460,000 worth of NNDM. On the 29th, they didn't do anything with their position, and the weekly buy and sell for that week was $7.1 million, almost $7.2 million in a week, adding to their already pretty big position in NNDM. Now, it came to Monday, and we saw something that we really hadn't seen before from ARK in their NNDM position. They sold $3.6 million worth of their position. So everybody kind of freaked out a little bit in the short term, but overall, I didn't really see a problem with it. The main reason for that is that I saw that the date that this happened was February 1st, and a lot of the times with these big institutions, they have to do a lot of rebalancing in these massive portfolios in order to maintain their diversification standards. We can also go take a look at the actual total position that ARK owns in NNDM. If we come over to this website, we can actually see that the total position size has actually gone up throughout the past couple of trading days. So this really has not caused a significant difference in ARK's overall position. They've actually gone up in the total dollar amount that they own of shares of NNDM, which is pretty interesting to see. So in general, I think this is just rebalancing. Nobody needs to freak out for any reason, but it is something to keep on your radar. Now, if we go over to the most recent SEC filing of NNDM, this is going to be an F3 document. So if we take a look over here, we can see about this offering. This prospectus relates to the resale by the selling shareholders identified in this prospectus, which is the CEO, of up to 8.3, about 8.4 million ADS, American Depository Shares, underlying the Series A warrants and the ETAN warrants. All of the ADSs, when sold, will be sold by these selling shareholders. The selling shareholders may sell their ADSs from time to time at prevailing market prices. We will not receive any proceeds from the sale of the ADS. Essentially, what they're doing is they're just notifying the SEC that their executives may be selling off some of their shares, which you can kind of take that in a good way or a bad way. They may want to take some profits on the shares that they already own. But if NNDM is such a great company and is going to be doing amazing things in the future, I don't see any reason why the executives would want to sell off any of the shares that they own. Now, this next SEC filing is going to get into the second idea I have about why ARK was selling off some of their shares initially. Now, this idea is more tinfoil. I don't really think this has as much plausibility as them just rebalancing their portfolios, but it is always fun to speculate on what these big firms might be doing. So if we come over here, notice of extraordinary general meeting of shareholders to increase the company's registered share capital and to amend and restate the company's amended and restated articles of association to reflect the same. So essentially what they're doing is they want to be able to issue more capital to raise more money. So basically NNDM is in the process of acquiring between 1 and 3 companies in the near future, and the board of directors thinks that they do not have enough capital in order to do this effectively. So there are pros and cons as a shareholder to vote for or against this proposition, and this is going to be happening on February 15th, so you are going to have to mail your votes in before then. So what I think is possible but not probable is that ARK Invest was selling off some of their shares to buy up any dip that NNDM will have on this shareholder meeting or after when they announce that they are going to be doing another share offering. Now, this doesn't make a lot of sense for a couple of reasons. The first, why would they be selling 2 weeks in advance when NNDM has a pretty important event coming up on Saturday? And it's 2 weeks before the actual date, and the stock price could run up a lot. And if the stock does fall after it runs up into this date, it could just fall back to the current trading levels, and ARK Invest would not benefit in any way from rebuying in. So the next event that we're going to be talking about is this interview with the CEO that is going to be released this weekend. So NNDM today announced an interview with President and CEO Yoav Stern, and this will air on the Red Chip Money Report on the Bloomberg Network in the United States on Saturday, February 6th. So mark this date on your calendars if you want to stay completely up to date with NNDM. At 7 p.m. local time across the United States. The Red Chip Money Report airs on Bloomberg Television US on Saturdays at 7 p.m. local time in 73 million homes, and on the Bloomberg Network in Europe in 100 million homes at 6 p.m. local time on Sundays. So this is very important. When the CEO of a company comes on to a network like this and is asked questions on the day-to-day happenings, and the forward-looking statements, essentially, for the company coming up in the near future, it is possible that he makes some statements that could absolutely move the share price on Monday. I think what could be interesting is that if this is a new interview, the problem is that this article and the other articles about this does not specify if this is a brand new interview. We saw this happen before when NNDM had a very similar situation where the CEO had an interview with Bloomberg, it was played, and then it was re-aired later on the Red Chip Money Report. If this is a new interview, it is very important that we pay close attention to what the CEO is going to say. I think if they are able to talk about the Carl Square partnership, that's going to be very important because they might be able to drop a couple of hints at what companies exactly they are looking to acquire. So if you want to get into NNDM at a lower price, there is a strategy that you can use by using options. I've gone over this in a couple of my other videos, and this is going to be one of the strategies we cover in detail on Saturday in my next options trading lesson video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But we are going to be looking at selling some cash secured puts. So essentially what this allows you to do is lock in the price that you want to buy a company at, and you get to collect a premium for doing so. So if we go out to a longer date, the March 19th expiration date, you can actually put up $750 in collateral or $1,000 in collateral and receive $13 or $61 respectively for this position. Now this is kind of a theta strategy, you're actually selling options and putting up the collateral in order to buy the stock. So if the stock goes down below $10, you own the right to purchase NNDM at $10 a share, and you would be able to purchase $100 or 100 shares worth. This is a very good strategy if you think the stock is going to go up in the near future and you want to collect premium on a stock with a very high implied volatility. But in the case of NNDM, I don't see it going down below $10. So this could almost be free money per contract that you sell. You're not going to be able to collect as much premium unless you go higher up into this $12.50 range. And if we see some bad news come out about NNDM, it is possible but highly unlikely that it falls down to this range. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed what I had for you in this one, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me get this information out to as many people as possible. You get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a really profitable day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.